I never caught the glory days of the Tonkor, but some veteran players tell me, listen, Leyzar, once upon a time the Tonkor was the best weapon in the game. Of course, the Tonkor is no longer the best weapon in the game, but the Kuva Tonkor does bring some much needed improvements, and today we're going to be diving deeper into this primary weapon. As always, my name is Leyzar, and I got a couple of builds lined up for you. Something cheap-ish, something affordable that most players should be able to build, but of course we also have the classic endgame setup with a Riven. That said though, bear in mind that my builds and guides usually take a new player friendly approach. There's a lot of info here, and I want anybody watching to understand how the weapon functions and how it should be built. So in case you're a veteran and you already know most of the stuff, then please, bear with me. And with that out of the way, let's jump into the Kuva Tonkor. Let's begin by having a quick look at how the weapon handles without any mods equipped, and for that, just a couple of free shots. Now the Kuva Tonkor is basically your regular old Tonkor. You're still looking at a magazine capacity of only 1. It's a grenade launcher, and these grenades upon impact will detonate in a 5 meters worth of area. Now the old Tonkor had 6 meters worth of area, and it still has 6 meters worth of area. I don't know why they decided to nerf this one, but there you go, 1 less meter. And you might say, hey, it doesn't really matter, man, 5 meters, 6 meters, whatever. But it does matter if you want to increase the area of that explosion so you can get more AoEs out of the weapon. You can use something like Firestorm to do that, so this is why, from my humble point of view, I do believe that it does matter. One more thing though, these grenades need about 6 meters worth of travel time in order to arm and detonate upon impact. Because if they don't, yeah, basically not all that much happens. There are 2 sources of damage. One, the projectile physically hitting the target, and second, the AoE explosion. Mostly 85-ish% of the damage is allocated to the explosion, so in this case, aim for the feet 100% does apply. Now, let's have a quick stat comparison, or maybe not so quick, between the regular Tonkor and the Kuva version. Keep in mind that when it comes to the damage, what you're comparing here is the stock version of the Kuva Tonkor versus the regular Tonkor. On top of all this damage that you see on the Kuva Tonkor, you gotta add the weapon elemental damage bonus that you will be getting from your progenitor. And since we're on the subject, I still see a whole lot of questions regarding what progenitor should I use for my Kuva weapons. The truth is, you shouldn't really go one progenitor on all of them, but I would recommend you choose toxin in the case of the Tonkor. Gas Tonkors are absolutely amazing versus Corpus, so bear that one in mind. When it comes to the critical chance, 5% extra on the Kuva version, up to 30%. Same critical multiplier, same fire rate, same magazine noise alarming, and the reload speed has gone to 1.5 instead of 1.7, so the DPS is slightly higher if you care about paper DPS and all whatnot. Status chance is also a lot higher, 17% instead of 10%. Now, may I draw your attention to the radial attack? Before, or still, the regular Tonkor has only blast damage, but this one has puncture and slash, and the highest amount of IPS is slash 270. Mixed in together with a higher status chance, we're going to be able to get a couple of slashes from the explosions, which is absolutely fantastic. Now, when you're talking about Kuva weapons, you gotta keep in mind that all of them can reach mod capacity 80 out of 80. You do that by plugging in 5 Forma. Yeah, I know 5 Forma may be a lot to ask of some of you guys, but you don't need 5 Forma to actually build a weapon. 1, maximum 2 Forma will be enough. But if you plug in 5 Forma and you get the weapon to 80 out of 80 with a catalyst installed, of course, you're gonna be sucking in all of the mastery points that you can out of these Kuva weapons. All of them functions just like the paracesis. But for example, let's say you just want the mastery points and you don't care about the weapon at all, then no need to plug in that Auto King Catalyst and get it to 40 out of 40 with 5 Forma. The Exodus mod slot on this one, I would recommend you guys unlock, but enough jibber jabber, let's hop into a standard build. And we got damage with Saryn and heavy caliber. Again, you can 100% go for heavy caliber, it's not a problem. Multi-shot with split chamber, as well as vigilante armaments, critical chance, critical damage combo between vital sense, point strike, and we also have Hunter Munitions on the weapon, because again, just with point strike alone, we're looking at a 75% critical chance with 5.5x critical multi with vital sense alone. Now, my weapon is a 52% toxin roll, so it's pretty good, which is why I can make corrosive on the weapon with a single elemental mod 60-60, in this case high voltage, 60% electricity and 60% status chance. Now what you can also do is make viral. Viral mixed in together with a slash build definitely can work wonders, but in my case versus corrupted heavy goons, this will prove very interesting, and I'll show you guys the viral elemental variation just a tad later. Now I didn't populate the weapon excellence mod slot because I want to talk about this one just for a bit. You can go for cautious shot. Of course, if you're fearful about blowing yourself up, if that's a problem for you, then you can go for cautious shot. You will have to fully max it out just to make sure you're not going to be dying from those explosions. But if you don't have problem with self-damage and all whatnot, then you can go for something like adhesive blast. Grenades have 100% chance to stick to surfaces, and this can definitely be useful, but keep in mind that you lose the control over when the damn grenade detonates, so that may prove problematic. It's gonna stick to enemies, and after a couple of seconds it will detonate by itself. Now speaking about explosions, let's see, what was it? Fulmination? No, it wasn't Fulmination. It's Firestorm. You can use Firestorm as your option mod as well. You can use it instead of Vigilante armaments. It's not a bad idea. You're gonna go to 6.2 meter range, so it is definitely worth it. Bear that one in mind. What I recommend for the Weapon Excellence mod slot is not Vigilante supplies as you might think, it's actually this one. Terminal velocity. And this might seem like a really weird idea. Why do you need projectile flight speed? There's no weapon damage fall off and all whatnot. Because it makes it easier for me to get headshots with this one. If you remember my old Tonkor review, I said that, listen, getting headshots with this one is really hard, so you should go for body shots or shoot for the feet and all whatnot. But with terminal velocity on, you actually have a decent chance of getting headshot damage with this weapon. And considering this is a critical weapon at its core, then it matters a whole lot. Link in the cards right now for a full tutorial on how critical chance and critical multipliers apply in Warframe. So basically, with a critical weapon, you can watch the guide, but with a critical weapon, if you can go for headshots, then go for headshots. It matters a whole lot more. Now enough about that, let's spawn in the corrupted heavy goons level 120, and what I'm gonna be doing is not pause them, okay? I'm gonna let them run at me just so you can see that you can realistically get some headshots. Sorry about the drill, my neighbor has a problem with his wife, I believe. As you can see, I am getting that critical multiplier. Now let's watch the value of the bleeds. Beautiful. Absolutely freaking nuking a target. Now here's another trick that you can employ. Hit the target, hit a wall behind your target like so, and make sure the explosion is around the head area of your target. By the way, that's a single shot on the corrupted heavy goon. 3000 bleed on the target, absolutely annihilating it. This is why I enjoy playing with terminal velocity. It might not be something for everybody, it might be perhaps a little bit counterintuitive, but I 100% recommend this mod on this weapon. I think it's worth it. Now, again, more slashes, more boom boom, and all of that good stuff. As you can see, the damage this weapon deals is absolutely phenomenal. 8000 plus bleeds without any sort of issue. Take a look at that. Absolutely annihilating these targets. And again, you can go for headshots, but you can go for body shots as well. Considering that you need 1.5 seconds to reload the weapon, you can use that time to re-aim and wait for the reload to be done, and then just go for a headshot. Now I promised you guys I would show the viral variation as well, right? So again, let's say that you went like I did with a toxin progenitor, because again, I think that's really a smart idea. What we can do is go for some cold damage, and you might say, hey, listen, Leyzar, the couple of slashes I'm going to be getting from the radial attack mixed in together with a status chance, for me, are not worth it. So what I'm going to do is go for the biggest wall-up worth of damage I can with prime cryo rounds. That's definitely not a bad idea. If you have prime cryo rounds, go for it, but for the sake of demonstration, this will be the cheap build with rhyme rounds. Rhyme rounds from the trade chat, my friends, you're looking at, I don't know, a couple of plat, something like 10 maximum, no more than 10. And as you can see, I don't have a problem aiming and getting the right damage on my targets, even with heavy caliber equipped on it, because the base is 100% accuracy, goes down to 25 with heavy cal. And of course, I'm getting the procs I want, I'm getting vital procs, and I am getting my slashes on my target. So this is, again, another option. The reason why I don't always highlight, hey, listen, this is viral and this is corrosive and this is that, because it doesn't really matter all that much unless you have specific targets that you want to kill. For example, if these were corpus, just go for gas. You don't need me to tell you that, just go for gas or pure toxin, it will be more than fine. Now speaking about more than fine, let's talk about a Riven setup, shall we? It's definitely not a bad Riven. I'm going to 116.7% critical chance. Critical multiplier is 2.5x. I got Hunter Munitions on this. I got corrosive. I got all of that good stuff. And of course, I'm still using terminal velocity. We're going to be spawning in the same heavy goons, level 120, and again, we are not going to be pausing anything. Just so you know, guys, even if they were paused, they would not have been taking extra damage from ranged attacks. Link the cards right now for a full demonstration and myth busting on the whole. Don't pause your targets if you're shooting them. Do not pause your targets if you are meleeing them down. That is true. But take a look at the damage with a Riven. Absolutely freaking phenomenal, isn't it? And I love playing around with this weapon. Now, I'll be honest with you guys, I don't want to use cautious shot, and from time to time I do blow myself up, but it's Warframe. Who cares? As long as I don't do it every 2 minutes, I'm fine with it. And the value of the bleeds are up to 22,000 on that corrupted heavy goon. Now, of course, my friends, there's still one more thing which we can do. Bump up everything with Lady Mirage Prime. Now we're going to be using some rather extreme Warframe buffs. We're going to be using Rifle Lamp. This will apply to the Tonkor, but of course against Grenier, it's always a smarter idea to go with Corrosive Projection. You can have your whole squad go with Corrosive Projection and then just go with Vital Weapons and Slash Weapons. It will be absolutely freaking glorious, especially in Kuva. Try that in Kuva a couple of times. We're going to be using Arcane Avenger and Arcane Rage. Arcane Avenger, from my humble point of view, is one of the most, if not the most powerful offensive Arcane in Warframe. Take a look at this, my friends. 30% critical chance. And you might say, big deal, 30% critical chance. It's not going to do much for my 0% critical chance primary, but this is a bonus additive after. It stacks on top of what you already have. And in case you don't know everything about Arcanes up until this point, I'll link the cards right now for a full tutorial on it. It's about 15 minutes or 20 minutes, but it should be worth your time, I hope. And the second one will be Arcane Rage. 10% chance for plus 120% damage to primary weapons for 16 seconds. And again, headshots are definitely doable if you use terminal velocity, so I think we will manage like this. We're going to be spawning in. Let's go higher, right? Let's go higher. Let's go 145. And of course, we're going to be using Mirage's fantastic buffs. Her free ability for a massive, massive damage increase, as well as her lovely clones. Now, when I say massive damage increase, I need you guys to keep in mind that you're not getting 660 whatever percent extra damage. Mirage's Eclipse buffs works very kooky. So head on over to the wiki if you want to check that one out. And of course, the weapon is fully capable of my favorite magic trick of now you see them, now you don't. And I 100% recommend the Kuva Tonkor. Now, if the argument is, dude, I don't like weapons that can deal damage to me because I always blow myself up, you can rely on Cautious Shot. The problem with Cautious Shot is the fact that, well, it takes up a whole lot of endo to max out, and you will need to max it out in order to get the full benefit and make sure you're not going to be blowing yourself up. But from my humble point of view, it's 100% worth it. And if you manage to roll a Tonkor from your Kuva leeches with 50% plus toxin, then you're all good to go. As always, my name has been Leyzar. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed the content. If you got any sorts of feedback for me, I would love to read it in the comment section down below. Now, also in the comment section down below, if you guys want to suggest any particular weapon review or versus. And in all honesty, I can't exactly promise you or guarantee that it will be done by next time or even within a week, but I can promise you that I will be reading through each and every comment. You can also find me on Twitch, Facebook, Twitter, all the usual places. Until next time, my friends. Bye-bye.